to National Association of Private Funds Managers, BSEC, the Fifth Circuit opinion. And again, I realize it could change in an en banc hearing, and I realize the Supreme Court could make changes. But I was reading, as I said, I read it this weekend, and then I was reading a bunch of the analyses on the internet. The court gave a very narrow interpretation of sections of the Investment Advisors Act. And I'm thinking about sections 2064 and 211H. I know that's kind of inside baseball, but I know you know those. The narrow interpretation of those sections, your proposed predictive data analytics rule, what effect, if any, do you think the Fifth Circuit opinion will have on that rule?
Again, I think you'd appreciate if I say that our staff is still reviewing the Fifth Circuit and will give advice to the five-member commission under General Counsel Barbero's leadership. I've also want to note for you, you may not be aware, we got a robust comment file on the predictive data analytics rule. A lot of people for, a lot of people against, raising different issues about the scope of that rule. And I had already asked staff to consider whether we should either reopen or repropose that rule given the breadth. And we even did, and I say this, Chair Benham might not be aware, we did that on a safeguarding rule as well, and we had been talking a lot. I've asked staff, should we reopen or repropose that safeguarding rule as well? So while we're considering that on the predictive data analytics, we'll also get the best advice from our general counsel around the Fifth Circuit opinion.
Do you ever issue a rule where everyone says this is just splendid and we're all happy?
No,
you generally get comments.
I would say to get my vote, yeah. I'm only one of five, but I really strongly believe in our constitutional system. Do it by the law and how the courts interpret the law, and we present ourselves to the American public, and that's important to the trust in the system. But if the courts see it otherwise, we adjust.
Sure. What about the impact of the Fifth Circuit ruling on your outsourcing rules?
Again, I'm going to defer to getting the best advice from our Office of General Counsel, our Division of Investment Management, and sorting through that. And in any, not just this Fifth Circuit, any ruling by a court, sometimes not even related to the SEC, we take a look at it. Does it have an effect on something that we've already put out there, and do we adjust?
Yeah.
And I just think that's part of our great democracy.
So you just can't say yet. Would that be fair?
That would be correct on the outsourcing rule.
Okay. Well, the language that the Fifth Circuit used is also present in the Exchange Act of 34, isn't it?
If you're referencing Section 913 of Dodd-Frank,
yeah,
put the similar language in the Exchange Act, both in what's called 211H of the Investment Advisors Act and a compendium, similar language in the Exchange Act.
Yeah, I misspoke. I should have said the language that the court interpreted is also appears in the Exchange Act of 34.
One of the provisions, the 211H.
Well, that language that the court interpreted in the Fifth Circuit also appears in sections 9J, 14E, and 15C2D of the Exchange Act of 34. So it could implicate your rulemaking authority under those provisions too, couldn't it?
Again, I'm going to look to General Counsel Barbero and her team, and of course the divisions of trading and markets and investment management for good advice, and all five of us will.
Okay. Does Commission know yet what it's going to do? Are you going to ask for an en banc hearing or appeal, or Have you decided yet?
Commission has not yet.
Would you tell me if they had?
Yes.
Of course, of course. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I enjoyed talking to you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You're doing such an extraordinary job, I didn't have any questions. Van Hollen told me to say that.
That's good. You know, when I was here 12 years ago, Mary Shapiro got all the questions too.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy.